Hey everybody, welcome to episode 56 of the Joys of Games podcast. We're recording this on a Thursday evening, April 27th, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Josh Brown. I am joined by the man who's out in nature right now, listening to the crickets, Colin Wheeler.
Evening.
Hi, Colin.
Hey.
You got a little menagerie of animals in your humble abode right now.
Yeah, I've got like mini dinosaurs. I've got insects. I've got ants. There's probably a rodent somewhere. I don't know. Like, I just, I'm kind of like Snow White. I just let all animals live and, let live.
Did Jack Hanna come over to your house and bring his traveling escapade of animals and such?
Maybe. Maybe. It's possible. I'm not here all the time.
That's true. Yeah, we were just talking about before we started recording that your lizard has an enclosure full of crickets that he has chosen not to eat yet.
Yeah, Yoshi, he's kind of a fat slug now. He just kind of hangs out and eats, and then occasionally walks around. So when he's full, he just lets the crickets chill right next to him. I don't know why, but
he should just lay his tongue out there and just see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't do that.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's kind of lazy.
Have you ever seen a chameleon eat?
Yeah,
like in person.
Yes.
Creepy. Val and I were at a pet store about a month or two ago, and we were looking at this chameleon. Like, oh, that's really cool. We noticed there's some crickets, and we were watching this guy, and he's like just creeping along this tree branch. I was like, oh, I bet he's going after that cricket. And like 3 seconds later, boom! That tongue came out and just nailed that cricket. It was amazing.
Yeah. Like a whip.
Yeah. Very cool.
I was thinking about getting a chameleon, but the only thing that's a bummer about them is they're kind of just furniture. They're kind of like fish. Like you kind of look really at them. Cool. You can't interact with them.
Sure.
Versus like Yoshi, I can take him out and he'll run around and like I on some stuff sometimes when he's not being lazy. I swear to you, he is like a cat reincarnated, because he's like a cat where when he makes jumps, he completely misses them and just falls down. And he likes to curl up in a ball like a cat. He will lick everything like a cat. Like, it's super weird.
And you haven't lost him yet. Like, he just runs around on his own.
So I have lost him, but I have since found him, obviously. But he'll like crawl underneath the bird's nest of wires behind my TV stand.
Ooh, nice and warm.
Sometimes it can get difficult to grab him from out of there.
Sure.
And he'll like there. One day I had this wooden. It was like a leftover broom from Halloween, because we got them around Halloween time.
Mm-hmm.
And they make like brooms at Trader Joe's that like smell like cinnamon. I don't know if you've seen them. They're like decorations, basically. Sure. So one day I lost him. I could not find him anywhere, and he had just climbed to the top of that broom that was like leaning against a wall. Huh. That was the scariest time. For sure. Because I was like, I lost him. Like, and I was by myself too. So like if Sharon and Hayden came home, they'd be like, how could you lose the lizard?
Right. You had one job, Colin.
Yeah.
Don't lose the lizard.
That's right.
It's a weird life you live over there, my friend.
Yeah.
But, what are you going to do? I had an interesting day today.
Yeah, what happened?
It was Take Your Child to Work Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You would know this if you worked.
Oh.
But you don't.
At the moment, anyway.
Speaking of lazy bums.
Oh.
That's where the lizard gets it from, Colin.
Oh, okay.
You're setting a bad example.
All right. Well, or a good example.
That's true.
Listen, this is what millennials do, so whatever.
That's true. Just go get your Starbucks first thing in the
I'm
morning.
going to Snapchat this conversation right now.
You totally should. Which filter are you going to use?
Totes. I don't even. The bear one. Is that one?
I don't know. I think they rotate them in and out. I'm not 100% sure of that, though.
There was an X-Men one. I remember that.
I think it's whatever company wants to give them money to make something filtery.
I bet you there's a Rocket Raccoon one right now.
I bet there's probably a Groot one.
But, okay. Anyway, what happened today?
Oh, I just had my daughter with me.
Nice.
all day during work, which is fine.
Did anything unusual happen?
Um, no, it was actually a really quiet and slow day, which was nice. But now she's under the assumption that I don't work, so it's like this is awkward. There was plenty of projects to keep us busy, but it was one of those like I really wish like you could see how busy I am during the day type of thing, and I'm not super busy, so this is a weird reflection of my normal days here, but we'll go with it.
It's always so funny how self-conscious we are in front of our kids, especially when it comes to our profession, because like they love us unconditionally.
Yeah.
But you just want to be the cool dad. You're like, look, I fixed this and this
Right.
and this, and I saved the day.
Yeah. I mean, we went to my boss's house and we rebuilt a waterfall, so that was interesting.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah. We were it kind of reminded me of like a OMSI thing where so he has like a pond, and then there's a waterfall that goes down this hillside to a pond down below when you turn on the switch and the pump activates it and such.
Mm-hmm.
And the water is coming through, but the water was splashing out over the sides all the way down and just making a big old mess. So we learned about water displacement with rocks by positioning rocks to force the water to go directions you want it to go. You can keep it from going crazy and whatnot. And so there was lessons to be learned, but it's like I don't normally rebuild waterfalls at my boss's house on a regular basis. Like this isn't a normal thing, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that fully to her, but she dug it nonetheless. But no, it was a good day. It was rainy. It's still rainy here in the Pacific Northwest. Mm-hmm. For those keeping track, it's day 186 of consistent rain or weather of some sort. It feels like, at least.
Yeah, we had one day over here. One day since the summer where it wasn't raining.
Yeah. It
or
like
snowing or freezing over or hailing or thunderstorm or windstorm. That was really scary the other day.
Oof.
Yeesh.
Yeah, it's a thing, man. It's a thing. This last weekend though, Colin. This is our Etc. episode for those wondering what the heck we're doing, talking about random stuff. This is our week where we just talk about different things in games that don't fall under the categories of Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft. So we use this week to kind of have fun a little bit, let loose, let our hair down, roll up our sleeves, do the thing. This last weekend, Colin, we played some games together for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, it has been a while.
It's been forever. Probably since the Extra Life stream.
Yeah.
What did we do?
We went to Dave & Buster's to celebrate my birthday.
Yeah, we did. That was a place.
It was a place. It was really loud.
Boy, howdy. I was not ready for that.
I wasn't either, because the couple of times that I've been there, I'm still able to have a conversation with someone, but without screaming.
Sure.
It was so loud, and to be fair, like there was a Trailblazers game going on in the background, so people were at the bar, and the TVs were really loud, and then also the millions of arcade games around us going off all simultaneously were quite loud. So
I was under the assumption that at some point they kicked kids out of that place and it turned into just like a barcade, but that's not the case.
No, you have to go down to Portland to go to like a proper barcade for that.
Yeah. I just thought that there was a time limit at some point, and no, man, that was a super loud place. That was super overwhelming. There was a lot of people there. I've never been to a Dave & Buster's, so I didn't really know what to expect other than the commercials I've seen for Dave & Buster's, which seems like a pretty chill atmosphere. Like there's a bar, and then like you turn around and there you can play some skee ball and high five with your friends, and eat some chicken wings and drink some beers. And I don't feel like the commercials accurately represent the atmosphere of Dave & Buster's.
Well, those commercials are usually, they portray a Wednesday around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's exactly what you're going to get.
The corporate business lunch crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 5 people there, and yeah.
Also, the commercials always make it seem like it's a smaller place, like a smaller venue. So I was completely taken back by how big and massive that place is.
You know what's funny is I've been to 3 Dave and Buster's now,
Yeah.
and the Clackamas one, which is the one we went to, is by far the smallest.
No way.
Yeah, there's one. The first one I went to was in Michigan, and it actually had 2 stories. So it was the same size of that place, but it was 2 stories.
Okay.
And the upper story had, at the time, and this was late '90s, so it had a lot of those like virtual reality like '90s games where your whole body interactions,
Sure,
and a lot of the rail shooters were upstairs too.
Okay.
In addition to having like a bowling alley, and there was something else too. So, some kind of it was some kind of ride. It was like a virtual roller coaster. That's what it was. Where you can like select your track, and then you go in, and then it like simulates a roller coaster. Yeah, that place was overwhelmingly huge. So the Clackamas one, in comparison, not that bad.
Huh. Crazy. It just, yeah, it seemed gigantic to me. In my head, Dave and Buster's are always smaller, I guess. I don't know why.
It's probably because you've been to other barcades, and that's pretty much how all barcades are. They're pretty small for the most part.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. But we had a good time nonetheless.
Yeah.
Despite being super overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
What did we play there, Colin?
Oh man. So the one thing I like about Dave and Buster's is they have a lot of the newer arcade cabinets, and Nintendo's been releasing several of them lately, or they've been licensing them out. And we played Luigi Mansion.
Yeah, I didn't know that was
arcade. Yeah. So it's basically an on rails shooter, but instead of a gun, you're actually holding Luigi's vacuum from Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it felt good to hold.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
I thought it was comfortable.
I didn't like where the trigger was.
It was kind of far back.
Yeah, it was not okay. The vacuum part was comfortable to hold. It was not ergonomically optimal for use, if that makes sense.
Yes,
it could have been designed a little bit better for actually using the thing.
Maybe, yeah,
maybe. But
I don't know.
I mean,
yeah,
it was fine.
Yeah, it was fun. I liked how the cabinet was like decked out with basically all the images from the game. Once you go in, you're holding the vacuum, and then to the right of you, in front of you, there's the actual backpack portion of it with a light lit up. And it's kind of what I expected. You go through the different mansions, and you see ghosts. You flash them with a flashlight. You suck them up.
Yeah.
You suck up coins. I died real fast, embarrassingly fast.
It was almost like I was wondering if your vacuum was working.
I don't know. Like, it could have been broken for all I know. I certainly feel like that. It's like playing with the zapper on the NES where you're just like shooting off screen, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I want that in my house. I'm not going to lie.
That would be really cool. Yeah. Yeah, it was, I mean, you weren't good at it.
No.
I just remember looking over and be like, wow, you're dead already. And
yeah, I died twice to your one life. So.
Well, yeah, you kept sitting there and you were doing nothing. You were just watching me. And your wife's like, just put more money in. Like, just keep playing. You're like, oh, but it's like 8 credits or whatever it is. And she's like, stop being dumb and just put more money in and keep playing. And you're like, fine. And then I had this panic attack of like, okay, now I'm about to die, and then I'm going to have to make the same decision because clearly if you just died, I'm on the brink of death here. So if you start a new credit, then the whole thing's just going to be disproportionate, and then I'm going to have to make a decision quickly if I'm going to put more money in when I die, and then it turns out that wasn't the case because you just died pretty much
Almost instantly.
Yeah.
The second time.
Yeah, you were really bad, Colin.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I don't know if were you vacuuming? Like, did you?
I don't know.
I don't feel like you got the basic concepts down. There's a button to use a flashlight.
Yes.
And I don't know if you used that enough.
Well, so my problem is I was charging the flashlight every time, and I discovered at the very end you can just press it and it'll flash.
You were holding it?
I was holding it down almost every single time, and they were attacking me because I wasn't
What
fast
a weirdo.
enough. I know.
Oh, man, I wish you would have said something.
Yeah,
I was just pushing that thing like it was going out of style, man.
I didn't realize it until the very end. So.
Flash and suck, flash and suck, flash and suck.
Yep.
Man.
That was it. That's what did it for me.
It was fun, nonetheless.
Yes.
Yeah. What else did we play?
We played Mario Kart, which was really fun. The arcade edition, it kind of changes the rules. It's put out by Namco. So for starters, they have Pac-Man as a playable character, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And a bunch of other random characters like a barrel, which I played as. No idea what the barrel's name, but I was like, hey, there's a barrel. I'm going to play as that.
That was really uncomfortable.
Really?
That made me uncomfortable to watch.
The barrel on wheels. Like, I don't know.
It was a barrel in a cart, but it was like not sitting the way a barrel would normally sit in a cart. It was laying down on its side in the cart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that weirded me out. Like, if anything, you would think it would be sitting up straight, you know?
I don't know.
In the seat, buckled in.
Listen, I don't know what barrels do for fun. Like, maybe that's comfortable to them. I don't know.
They drive carts, obviously.
You don't know their life.
I don't, Colin.
So in the beginning of the match, you basically take a little like picture of your face, and it's always like
I think the kids call them selfies.
Selfies? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. You take a selfie, and it always has like funny costumes, like maybe the Mario mustache and the hat, or like Peach's hair, or something like that. Mm-hmm. So whoever you're racing against, you can see a goofy image of them the entire time, which kind of makes wanting to beat them that much.
Oh man, it adds the intensity so much. Yeah.
The one thing that I don't like about the arcade version, and I know why they do it, is it's just like your carts and everything is randomized. Like you don't get any choice.
Yeah.
And I imagine that's just to speed up the process of people being like, oh, do I want this one? Do I want that one? Do I want this one? But yeah, I jumped in and raced on one of the Pac-Man levels, and I don't remember. I think I beat my wife in a race, which I never do in Mario Kart. I never win against her, so I was pretty satisfied by that.
I feel like they do a good job of, along with the randomized carts and weapons that you get. It seemed to me like no matter how bad somebody was doing, or like no matter what they got hit by, or whatever obstacle that came their way, by the end of the race, it was always neck and neck still.
Yeah.
And came down to just dumb luck who took a tighter turn at the end or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
That's how I noticed it. Like, it was somehow the game balanced itself out and like maybe slowed down the lead car and sped up the second place, but it seemed like every match that I watched came down to just like milliseconds.
Yeah, I think that's also too because of the power-ups you get. Like there wasn't the blue turtle shell, there was like there was bananas, bombs, mushrooms, but there wasn't anything like, there wasn't like the horn that like knocks people around. There wasn't the ink splots that goes in front of your face. There wasn't any of the like stuff that can really mess you up like really badly. So
yeah,
it's interesting because there's like a simplistic version of Mario Kart, but I actually really, really enjoyed it. So
sure. No, it's 100% perfect for an arcade.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It felt good. It played good. And honestly, it just made me more excited for Mario Kart to come out.
I know.
Yeah. I was like, oh god, I can't wait to play this on my Switch.
So fun. Absolutely.
This is holding me over for now, but not forever. What else do we do?
We also played Pac-Man Air Hockey, which is my favorite version of air hockey.
Sure.
Yeah, because it starts out as your standard air hockey table. You're just hitting the puck back and forth, and then all of a sudden, randomly, a million of small pucks just like come out on board, and you're just frantically trying to hit all of them into the opposite person's goal.
Right.
And once you just think you're done hitting them all into the goal, then another million set comes through, and it's just like this crazy mad dash of trying to get the highest score against the other person.
Mm.
And it's a lot of fun.
I beat you at that as well.
Well, yeah, I knew that was going to happen anyway.
I mean, you're not really good at the sports.
I'm athletically challenged.
Yeah, but what I found interesting was some old people came over and were like hanging out next to you, like a little cheering section, and I felt outnumbered at that point. I'm like, wow, this is not going the way I hoped it would go here. All of a sudden you have help, and they're pointing out which pucks to hit, and I didn't think it was quite fair. You had a competitive advantage for sure, but I persevered. I pushed through. I had to claim victory, Colin.
Whatever, man. You changed.
We played Walking Dead.
Yes.
Another shoot 'em up arcade cabinet game that you sit down and shoot things. You shoot Daryl's crossbow.
Yeah, which is cool. Like, you pull back to reload.
Yeah.
I thought that was really fun.
Yeah. The graphics were really fun. Like, I remember saying to you, like, this is a Walking Dead game that I would totally play. Like, why isn't this kind of Walking Dead game on consoles?
Yeah, I'm surprised that PlayStation VR, besides the what is that game called? Until Dawn.
Evil. Oh.
Besides that, there's no real rail shooters.
Maybe there is. I feel like there is.
Good rail shooters.
That's a tricky. That's that's hard to justify, Colin.
Yeah.
No, but like something like that would be super fun. Like I would 100% play that in VR. Oh my goodness.
There was a Resident Evil game on the Wii that I really liked.
Yeah.
It was a on rail shooter. Was that the Umbrella Chronicles?
Yes.
That was super good.
Mm-hmm. And you could take different paths on them. And,
yeah.
Yeah. No, I loved them.
Yeah, those are great games.
Those Wii remotes were perfect for shooters like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Underappreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We shot some hoops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Again, you not being athletically gifted.
I will say I was impressed with my score. Now you may have 20 points ahead of me, but I was pretty satisfied with my 14 points.
Yeah,
so.
I was going easy. I didn't want to dissuade you from ever picking up a basketball again.
Yeah, I saw they got a blindfold on. I know.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
One hand tied behind my back.
Well, yeah.
Sure.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I get it.
But I mean, you give it a good little shot. I was impressed.
Yeah.
You tried really hard.
I can shoot some basketballs.
Yeah.
Just let me have it.
You tried hard.
Just let me have it.
You did something. There's a few other little games played here and there. It was just a lot, man. There was a lot of people.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like standing around waiting for things to open up, which is never fun.
Yeah.
In an arcade.
Saturday evening. It's a catch-22, right? So usually Saturday is when everybody can go, but it's also because everybody can go, it's
Everybody
also
else can
super
go.
busy. Right. So it's like if I did it midweek, then not everybody could go. So
dude, I'd totally meet you there on a Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may have to do that sometime.
I could make some excuse to go out there, I'm sure.
We are looking at houses in that area, so.
That's true. That's true. I'm not, but it's be a good reason for you to get out there.
Yeah.
Overall, it was fun. It was definitely an experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's just far enough away to where I know I'm not going to go there on a regular basis.
Right.
But if I'm in the Clackamas area again, I definitely feel like it would be a fun thing to stop in and do for an hour or two.
Right.
It's just I would purposely have to be going out there for something. Whereas like we have like a bowling alley here in Vancouver, Big Owls. Mm-hmm. And I mean it has similar style games, not quite to the extent of of that place, of course. But like, if I need a fix for arcade games, like I know where I could go. That's 15 minutes away as opposed to 45 minutes away.
My Big Al's only has redemption games.
And see, it's possible that I feel like there's at least a Mario Kart games there, and I know there's DDR, but maybe I don't know. It's been a while since I've been to the arcade there, but who knows? Who knows, man? It was fun though. Thank you for inviting us.
Oh yeah, thanks for coming. I appreciate that.
It was tons of fun. You wanted to talk about something else this week though. I'm fascinated by.
Yeah. It's a game that I definitely did not think I was ever going to play.
When you told me you're playing this, I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes, because I didn't think you'd be playing this.
Yeah, so I have a friend who I play Dota with from time to time, and he wanted me to play this particular game. He kept saying over and over again how great it is, how amazing it is. I'm like, I don't want to mess with that. I don't like playing shooters with mouse and keyboard. I just can't do it. He's like, no, you got to play. It's amazing. It's amazing. And then I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it right now because I have so many games to play. That's what I told him because I do. I have a million games on my backlog to play.
Right.
Not to mention I don't want to spend the money.
Sure.
So he sends me a random text. He's like, hey, when you get home, can you check your Steam account? I'm like, okay, that's a super weird thing to say. I open it up.
Did you hack it?
and it had a notification. You got a gift. So I got a gift from him, and I open it up, and it's PlayerUnknown's Battleground. Now, this game is like blown up the streaming scene.
Yeah, just like the last week or two.
Yeah, like I feel like everyone is talking about it, but I had no idea what it was until everybody started talking about it. So basically the premise is you are in a giant map with 100 different people.
Right.
And the objective is basically like the Hunger Games. Your objective is to kill everyone, and one person is the winner. So the premise, like once you start up a level, you're in a plane, and then you can choose where to free fall onto the map.
Okay.
And the first few minutes of it is you, looking around to see if there's anyone near you. If there is, you can try to kill them, or you can try to run away from them. Or you can scavenge houses or sheds or vehicles for weapons and armor to equip yourself as much as possible.
Okay.
In case people come up on you.
Okay. So everything's just kind of sitting around in this city landscape.
It's a really big map. Like, think Battlefield style, size map. It's huge.
So you're not just getting dropped on top of people instantly.
No, not. I mean, there are some areas where like there's tons of houses, so people will drop in those areas because the more houses there are, the more loot there is, and all the loot is procedural generated. So there's not like one house that has a rocket launcher or something like that. So it's just completely random what you actually get.
Right, but if you're dropping in the same area where everybody else is, then you're more likely to get killed quicker usually.
Right. And if you get killed, you basically have two options. One, you can go into spectator mode and watch other people play, or you can go straight back to the lobby and load into another game.
So one and done death.
Yep, that's it.
Wow.
So yeah, as soon as you die, you're out of the match. Which is, I thought I was going to hate it first, but I actually found it to be really fun if you're playing with friends. So you can actually squad up with up to 3 more people, so a squad of 4. And you can work together as a team to try to kill other teams and other people.
Interesting.
So that's what we did primarily. Me and 3 other guys, we found a house, or like a little neighborhood basically, and we looted the house. We all had weapons, and then we decided to just chill in the house and just camp, basically. Wait for someone to come up. And man, oh man, let me tell you, it is so frightening to hear a car drive up right next to your house. Because you're like, oh crap, someone's going to come in the house. Someone's going to come in the house. They're going to come up. They're going to kill us. And then you hear, you hear the door open, you're like, okay, they're in the house. They're in the house. And then you hear footsteps. They're walking around. And all
at this point, they have no idea you're there.
Yeah, they have no idea because we didn't have a vehicle at that point.
Sure.
So walking up the stairs, and then we all just like open fire at him. He takes down one of my buddies, and we're just shooting and shooting because he had like tons of armor on. We kill him. His buddy comes running upstairs as we're reloading, downs another friend. Luckily, he didn't kill him, so you can actually revive them if they just get downed.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to kill that guy as well. And then his last buddy just drove off in the car, like just booked it.
Huh.
It was. I don't like the game is so intense and also just so goofy at the same time.
Right.
Because you can. Another time we dropped down and we looted this town. We found a car, and we decided we were going to go to a vantage point.
Okay.
So we drove up a mountain because the game will let you do that.
Sure.
So we got to the top of the mountain, and then all of a sudden my friend's like, "I'm dead." We're like, "How are you dead? What happened?" And there's like 4 guys peeking over the mountain, just picking us off one by one.
Huh. With like a sniper rifle?
Yeah, because
Okay.
you can find scopes for weapons.
Oh.
And like extended mags and like just different upgrades for different weapons.
Sure.
Yeah, it's something else. Like it really reminds me of like a horror movie or like The Walking Dead
Yeah.
with Hunger Games. And the game is really smartly designed because the map is so big, you have to get people to like not all camp in different houses and not move around. So what they do
Right.
is have you ever seen the Hunger Game movies?
No.
Okay. So
I mean, I know the premise. Like,
yeah. So there's like
Battle Royale.
Basically Battle Royale,
Yeah.
right? Exactly like that. There's a force field of the playing area in those movies that kind of like slowly goes in. So it basically forces the combatants to fight.
Okay.
Well, in this game, it does the same thing. There's a play area that you need to get into, and if you don't get into it, you'll slowly lose health over time.
Smart.
So there was a sequence where we were in a neighborhood, and there was another like group of guys, and they had killed all my teammates, and left. They ran away because the play area was closing in on them. So they had to get to the play area because they started dying. So they ran away. I started dying. I started running towards a car. I immediately started driving, and I was like, what's going on with this car? Because it felt like the Warthog in Halo 1 where it's just like swerving all over the place.
Yeah.
And like swerving to the point where like I couldn't control it. And this was in a neighborhood, so I'm like weaving from other like broken down cars and other buildings and stuff. And then one of the guys shot my tires, and I just ran in the wall and blew up. And that was the end of the game for me.
So you do have health, though. Like,
Yes.
it's not like one shot and you're dead.
Right. It's kind of like Ghost Recon, where you have a little bit of health, but if someone gets like a headshot on you, you're pretty much done.
Right. Now, can you find health? Like, can you replenish?
Yes, you can get bandages. You can get, which kind of gives you like health up to 75%, and then you can get med packs, which will heal you all the way. You can get painkillers, which I think will heal you up to 50%.
Mm.
And then energy drinks, I think, gives you more stamina. No, because there's no stamina, so I'm not sure what energy drinks do, but that's also a form of consuming you can do as well.
Okay. So you can heal yourself if you get damaged in some way.
Yes.
What does it look like?
It looks like absolute butt.
Does it really?
It looks horrible. Like the game looks so bad, and it's like that's what kind of makes it funny is just how bad the game looks because it's an early access right now. It's not technically released.
Oh.
They're building the game right now, and it's actually like really like well done for being an early access game. Like there's still a lot of jank. Like when I was parachuting one time, I got stuck in midair and couldn't move. I was just stuck, so I had to cut my parachute and immediately died.
Wow.
So there's still like bugs and stuff, but yeah, it looks like. Do you remember Gun for the Xbox 360?
Yes.
Remember how bad that looked because it was a port? That's kind of what it looks like.
Wow. But people aren't playing it because it's great to look at.
Yeah, it's definitely not a visually pleasing game, but it is so much fun. And like I said, I don't think I've had this intense of an experience in a game in a long time.
Right.
So, and then just like and for anybody out there that is thinking about playing it, make sure you have friends that are playing it too, because I played my first match not knowing what I was doing. My teammates got killed, and I couldn't talk to them at the time because Sharon was sleeping and Hayden was upstairs, so I didn't want to be loud. So I just told them I'm not going to chat, and not being able to communicate with them and like do anything with them was just not fun at all to me.
Right.
Similar to like Destiny or something. Like, you really need like a group of people to play this with to really get the full enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. Huh. How much time have you put into this so far, do you think?
I probably played like 4 hours of it.
Yeah.
Because each match is like, I mean, it depends on when you die, but on average, I would say each match was about a half an hour of us being alive.
How often did you sit there and watch the rest of the match as opposed to just backing out and going to the next game?
I only will watch the match if a teammate is still alive.
Okay, that makes sense.
Once all the teammates wipes, we just back out.
Okay. Have you won yet?
We got close. We got to 4. No, there was 4 teams left, so it was 16. So 16, and then another time we got to 9.
So in the teams, like, is it last team standing, or like
I'm not sure, because
if you get down to the last 4 on your team, is it every man for itself at that point?
I think that's what happens. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
you
crazy.
Have to turn on your team, so you have to like see the numbers tick down and be like, okay, time to pop my friends. Like that's what I think happens. So
that would be intense,
right?
Huh. Wow.
But it's a lot of like, there's a lot of moments of just kind of waiting if you want to choose to do that.
Yeah.
But like, a good set of headphones is really important in this game, because being able to hear all around you is like vital to your survival in this game.
Yeah, I imagine so. Huh. I'm fascinated by this now.
It's coming out for consoles too.
Oh, it is?
They're finishing the PC version first. I imagine they'll release it on Xbox One early access as well, once they feel good about the PC version being done.
Sure.
I have remapped my Xbox controller on my PC to make it work, and it works perfectly fine with the controller.
Huh.
And I was able to hold my own way better with the controller than I did with mouse and keyboard. So.
Yeah. Huh. That sounds cool.
Yeah. I definitely think, like, if that comes out on console, we should play that. I think we'd have a lot of fun with that.
I mean, it sounds like it. It just...
It's so weird. Like, I didn't think I was going to like it at all, just because it seems so basic.
Right.
But I think that's what I love about it. Like, it's just... You don't have to worry about a lot of stuff. It's just kind of like not survival horror, but like, I mean, it kind of is in a way. Like, you are surviving and you're trying to not get killed from a bunch of other people. But
right.
It's something else.
Huh.
For sure.
How much is it?
It's $30 early access.
Okay. Do they mention anything about when it's no longer going to be in early access?
No idea.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
I mean, the beta is pretty good. Like, what they've released is pretty good, but it needs a lot of work still.
Yeah.
And graphically, like, you can't exceed medium graphics. Like, I have a PC that can run ultra, and switching it from ultra to medium does nothing. Like, it looks the same. So
that's the thing.
A lot of work. I would say probably at least another year. That's my guess.
Yeah. My concern with that is, like, will people still care at that point?
Yeah, and it's one of those things that I didn't put money into it, so I'm okay either way.
Sure. But I mean, like,
anyone else, right?
It's great that it's, so exciting now for everybody, but, like, is this, once it's come out, will it have run its course to where people have moved on to something else?
Yeah, do you remember that game H1Z1?
Oh yeah.
So it's one of the main creators of that game moved on to make this game.
Oh, did that game ever get finished?
Nope. It is
Okay,
still in early
that's
access.
what I thought. I remember people telling me that like that was going to be the next greatest game in the world. Like that's going to be like the next step in video games. And I was like, I don't know about that. Like, yeah, I there's some flashes of fun things there, but I don't think that's like the second coming of video games.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I don't. So it concerns me when there is a project that someone has created and it is not completed, and then they go on to another project.
Yeah, why didn't they finish the first one?
Yeah. So I don't know if he's like doing two teams or if he just left that team and did his own thing, but I I couldn't tell you. So
Disconcerting, a little bit.
yes.
Well, that's fun. I'm glad
Yeah.
you're liking it.
Yeah, and I'm definitely gonna play more of it because like it's weirdly addictive. Like after you get out of a match, I immediately want to go in to do another match.
Yeah. Is it something that you would play without your squad?
No.
No, not at all.
Yeah, like I said, I would have to play with a friend.
Yeah.
It's like the thing about it is I have so many single player games that are like good single player games that I could play by myself.
Right.
So if I have friends online, I'd play multiplayer games. So
I guess that makes sense.
mm-hmm.
Well, that's fun. Anything else you got going on, Colin?
I mean, I could talk about Nier. Do you want me to talk about Nier?
Yeah, you know what? I want to know about this game.
Yeah, so I started playing Nier Automata. That game's super weird.
Yeah, I've heard that by many
It's
of people.
it's a Japanese game.
It's a Japanese game.
So it does like a million things, different types of game styles,
Okay.
all smashed together. Like it's a cornucopia of game styles. So it starts you off in the game like a what is that old game called? 1942 or Galaga, where it's basically just the plane from an aerial view and you're just shooting enemies, right?
Okay.
So it's like Galaga, you're like shooting all around. They'll shoot like little orbs at you, and you have like missiles that you can shoot at that does a little bit more damage.
Okay.
So after you get through that sequence, you turn into a mech. So you turn into a little mech, and then it changes to the camera perspective to you can see the back of the mech, and you're still kind of doing the same thing, but it's not top-down view. And you also have a melee attack that you can use a sword to slash these enemies.
All right.
After that, you go back to being in the plane, and you go through a tunnel that's a lot like Star Fox. So you're navigating through tunnels so you don't hit the environment, going back and forth through various tunnels. After you get out from that, your character crashes, and all of a sudden you're in third person. In third person, you are basically playing like Dante from Devil May Cry. So you can do hack and slash with different combos. You also have this little robot thing that floats above your shoulder that is like a shoulder gun. So yeah, so you can make some really really cool combos of holding down the shoot button also while meleeing. So you could simultaneously be shooting a specific enemy and also hacking another enemy into a bunch of different pieces.
Okay.
Yep. So
I'm trying to follow here.
Right. So it's like Devil May Cry's combat, and then all of a sudden it turns into Dynasty Warriors, where there's like 30 of these like minion robots all attacking you at once. So you're basically chaining things like Dynasty Warriors, where you're like hitting a bunch of enemies all at once, and they start flipping in the air, and everything's blowing up. And then it switches to a boss battle. Now the boss battle is like a Zelda game, where you have to find the weak spot and attack it, or a Metroid game in that sense.
Okay.
After you fight the boss battle, you start exploring in third person, but then after you get down a certain pathway, it immediately turns to a 2D side-scroller. So you're playing like a Strider or Metroid style game when you're navigating specific parts of the environment.
What?
Yes. And you're also attacking enemies the same way you would in third person, but now you're doing it in like sideways, like in 3D perspective. And you're also doing platforming in the process. Like it's such like a crazy thing. And after exploring that, right? So you get into another area, another like mini boss shows up.
Okay.
You defeat the mini boss like Devil May Cry, and all of a sudden the camera flips to top down perspective, and you're doing a dual stick shooter again. But you're still being able to melee, and you're still able to shoot like you would in third, like when you were playing like Devil May Cry, but it's a completely different perspective. All these things are layered on top of layers on top of layers. And the weirdest thing about it is, the absolute weirdest thing to me about this game is everything that they do is done so well. Everything. Like,
you sure you're just playing one game?
Yes.
You sure it's not like a demo disc of like several different games here?
I mean, it could. I don't think so. It was tripping me out because I'm like, what is this game? Like, I'm playing this game for like 2 hours. I'm like, what is this game? I don't understand. What is happening here?
Right.
Holy moly.
It hurts my head just thinking about it, Colin.
Yeah. It kind of like blew my mind.
I've heard a lot of people talk about this game, but I've never really had anybody actually explain how the game plays. Like, all anybody ever talks about is the multiple endings. Right?
Yeah, and the story as well.
Yeah, which I'm fascinated by, but that doesn't... Knowing that there's 26 different endings doesn't make me want to go play the game because I don't know what the game is. That helps a lot. But I'm also, I think, more confused at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know how I can articulate any...
I don't know if there is a way, Colin, the way it sounds like.
Yeah,
like, you maybe just did exactly the best that you possibly could.
It's just a mashup of all these weird game mechanics from games that I love, and it's all done so well. Like, I don't understand.
Now, this is a franchise.
Yeah, it is.
Did you play other Nier games?
No. There was one on the PS3. I had like very few PS3 games.
Okay.
But it was like a cult classic, but apparently it was super, basically like a double A game as opposed to a triple A game.
Okay.
So it had a lot of problems, but people still really loved it, even with its problems. So this game has been in development for a long time. Like, I think they announced it for the PS3 initially, and then they pushed it back to the PS4. And it definitely looks like a late PS3 game. Like, it still looks great. It just doesn't. It doesn't look like a Horizon Zero Dawn or, an Uncharted. It doesn't look that good. So,
how did a game like this get made? Like,
Japan.
It just kind of seems like it just came out of nowhere. Like, for it to be taking the world by storm, essentially. Like, I feel like if Zelda didn't exist, like, this is the only game people would be talking about.
Yeah.
I don't... It kind of just came out of there was no marketing for it beforehand.
It was very little. I mean, I remember E3, I think it was 2 years ago. They had... Do you remember there was a guy that came out with a weird, like, scary-looking gray head, like helmet thing?
Oh, right.
It was really obtuse. That was for this game.
Okay.
So it was just, they kind of like stopped talking about it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's got a release date, and it's out.
So weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, definitely, like, we didn't see like any commercials or advertisements in stores or...
Yeah, I didn't even see any online. Like, besides maybe IGN, like one ad, I didn't see any ads like on YouTube or anything.
Right.
So.
Weird. But you're liking it.
Oh yeah, it's super good. Since I've only played the very beginning portion of it, and this all that information, by the way, is just the very beginning. All that stuff, all that garbage I just spat out. That's all just in the first hour or two. Yeah, the story, I don't really know what's happening in the story, but that's what they haven't really given me like much information. All I know is that you are a robot lady and you're helping this other robot man while killing robots and stuff. And there's bigger robots.
Pfft.
That's all I know so far. A lot of robots.
A lot of robots.
A All them robots.
Robots. Ooh, speaking of robots,
Mm.
on Jimmy Fallon the other night, he had a segment with robots on it. There was a butterfly robot that just kind of flies around, right?
Wait, is it like the size of a butterfly?
No, bigger.
Oh.
Which is more impressive, actually. Think of like a model plane, but like with flapping wings that flies around on its own without any sort of controller.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
And creepy.
it was. And then there's another guy with a robotic snake.
Why would anybody want to make a robot out of a snake?
That was my first question, and he explained it because there's a camera on one end, so it's optimal for being able to put it into places where humans couldn't get to, like if you're like search and rescue or that kind of stuff. It could work its way into little tight spaces and around corners and stuff. Better yet, it could climb. Right?
This is like some Skynet stuff, man.
No, pretty much. So
I'm not all right with this.
No, I was kind of losing my mind here. So Jimmy's like, can it climb on me? He's like, well, I mean, if you say it's okay, and Jimmy Fallon's is like, okay, let's give this a shot here. So the guy puts the snake down, and it's kind of like in a U shape, on the ground around Jimmy Fallon's foot, and then all of a sudden, the snake lifts its little camera head up onto Jimmy's leg, and then starts wrapping itself around his leg. And it starts crawling up his leg by doing like the circular corkscrew motion up his leg up until he got to like the thigh. And I'm like, this is making me a little uncomfortable because this is just a robot snake here. Yeah. And Jimmy's like, it's squeezing on pretty hard. And it's like, well, yeah, you got to make sure it stays on the leg. But I was not okay with that at all, Colin. I like the promise of like it being used for good, but that's how it always starts, right?
Yeah, that's why I don't trust that snake from Snake Pass.
But there's a third robot, Colin. This guy in Tokyo, okay, comes out with this full-size mannequin-looking robot. Clothed, has a really creepy robot face. Like, looks mannequin, like you could tell like it's not a person, but it's just realistic to where you start getting really creeped out immediately. And he rolls this thing out here, and it's just standing there. And Jimmy Fallon's talking to the guy that made it, and I noticed the robot is just blinking. There is no reason for a robot to be blinking, Colin. And it's just standing there blinking, and the guy's like, so it has, this wonderful AI. It's going to be, these are the robots that are going to be used for like social interactions, and you're going to be able to become friends with these kind of robots. And I'm like, AI is not a good idea. I don't know why people keep insisting that AI is the future. Like, this is a bad thing. We should be smarter than this. But he's like, this is, it thinks for itself. It could conduct itself in social interactions. It responds. It memorizes faces and will remember names and locations and everything like that. So think of like Siri. If Siri could see you and respond to you, but also in a creepy robot body, clothed and everything like that. So Jimmy Fallon starts having a conversation with it, and I'm just like, I'm kind of like it. Jimmy Fallon asked her, like, he kept saying like her and using her name. I'm like, stop giving it a gender. Stop using its name. Like, we are humanizing this too much already. Like, stop. It's a thing. It's an it. And he like asked her to say a joke, and she told a joke, and then she challenged him to a game of robot rock paper scissors, which he lost, and she gloated because she knew that she won, and it's like, this is just rock, paper, scissors. She's seen what he's throwing down in this game and knows that she won based on this. Like, this is going way too far. Way too far, Colin. I was freaking out. If you have Hulu or any way to watch Jimmy Fallon, like, find that show, I don't remember which episode it was, and watch the segment, and you will be mortified.
All right. We're in the future.
I don't want this future,
good.
Colin.
The future's not good.
This is not the future I signed up for, my friend.
It's real bad.
Like, robots can be super useful in so many different ways. We don't need to give them artificial intelligence to think for themselves. It's not helping, Colin.
Yeah, I think Bill Gates and Stephen Hawking both are super scared of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And those are pretty smart people.
Yeah, I trust them.
So maybe we should listen to the smart people, huh?
I've seen Age of Ultron. I know what happens.
Yeah.
We don't have an Iron Man on our side, Colin.
The comic book is way worse than Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Everybody dies.
Ultron is close to being a thing. We don't have Iron Man.
We also don't have a T-800 either.
No. The closest thing we have to Iron Man are those stupid water-propelled jetpacks.
Those are dumb.
That's not getting us anywhere, Colin.
You have to have a hose.
And be on water.
Yeah. How effective is that?
And,
well, actually, robots can't go on water, probably. So it's probably all right.
So how are we fighting them? Squirt them from the middle of the ocean?
Taser them?
It's bad, Colin.
Yeah.
We are not prepared for how fast we are advancing these robot technologies.
Nope.
And then you're playing a game like this, and it's like, they're just infiltrating. Oh, the worst part! The Thing made a joke about taking over the world and taking over the human race. After the robot beat Jimmy Fallon in the game of rock, paper, scissors, it made a joke about this is just the start of the robot takeover. And Jimmy's like, okay, haha, that's funny. And then the robot just like kind of looked at him and made this really awkward smile. That was the most disturbing thing I've ever seen, because it's like, you know, like those horror movies where like the kid is like, I'm totally like a great kid, and then like gives that smile like, I'm going to murder my entire family in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
That was the smile that this robot gave when it was telling a joke about the robot takeover. That's not okay. That's not it. If it's artificially if it has AI in it, and it is already thinking about how funny it is that us humans are afraid of a robot takeover, and then making some weird, creepy, awkward smiles in regards to said jokes, they're already planning it. We're done. We are done for.
Well, I hope the Autobots come to help us.
They're gone, Colin. Sorry.
Oh.
They're not helping us. We're on our own.
All right.
Let's wrap the show up. That's enough. Next week's going to be so exciting. We have a Nintendo episode. Val has been waiting 4 weeks to talk to us about Nintendo. She wants to come back on next week.
Okay.
She's like, is this week Nintendo? I'm like, no, babe. It's Etc. week. Why don't we do the Etc. week next week and talk Nintendo this week? I said, well, what do you want to talk about this week? She goes, Zelda and Zelda. I said, well, we've talked about Zelda. I'm not opposed to talking more Zelda. However, if we keep it on schedule the way it is, we'll be able to talk about Mario Kart next week as well. So she's on board.
Yeah, also new hardware.
Yeah. So she was making dinner, and I looked over, and I said, hey, babe, guess what? She said, what? And I said, Nintendo just announced a new console. And she just looked over at me. She goes, excuse me? And I said, well, what do you think I said? And she said, I'm pretty sure you just said that Nintendo announced a new console, and I'm freaking out a little bit right now, so let me finish making my dinner before I burn everything, and then let's have a chat. I said, okay, that's fair. So that was fun news tidbit that came out of nowhere tonight.
Oh man.
Yeah, next week's gonna be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll talk all about Nintendo. We'll talk Mario Kart 8. We'll talk all things other Switch. Probably talk some Zelda. We'll probably try to calm Val down as to why there's no Animal Crossing yet on the Switch. If they don't announce something at E3, Colin, we're dead. We are dead. You know that, right?
Don't. From the robots or from Val?
Both.
Oh man.
She might get to us first, though. Yeah.
Well, she's gonna get to you first, so I'm gonna book it. I've been playing enough Battleground. I know where to go.
That's true. That's true. Colin, thank you as always. Where can people find you at?
They can find me on the Twitters at PDX_geek.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter personally at The Noise with a Y. You can follow the show on Twitter at Joys of Games. Next week we will be back talking Nintendo and all things Nintendo related. Until next time, play some games. Enjoy them. Good night.
Good night.